Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jillian McDonald. I channel the Akashic Records on this channel. And so today I have some exciting topics to discuss. So I really wanted to cover the Galactic Federation. So I'm going to be asking some questions about just the Galactic Federation, the different planets, how everything works out there outside of Earth, and how that impacts us here on Earth. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video. There's gonna be more where this comes from. So if you have any requests or anything that you would like information on, please leave me a comment. I also have a Patreon, so my private membership, where I talk about things that are too taboo for YouTube. So I am going to get into some inner earth things over on my Patreon. I'm going to get into some reptilian things, some celebrity things. So I'm really excited for that video. If you haven't already, you can subscribe to my membership. I'll leave that in the link in the bio as well. And let's get into it. All right, so if you've seen any of my other videos before, you know that I have to say a prayer, which allows me to raise my vibration up into the dimensions of the records. At that point, once I'm there, I will open them for the collective and they will share with me whatever the collective wants to hear. So if you're here right now, there's a reason this message, this video is for you. If you've just stumbled upon this video, then this must be some information that is going to be for you, because I won't be sharing anything that isn't for the highest good. All right, so let's get into it. Mother God, help me to open my heart. Protect me and guide me away from any fears or resistance. Remove all judgment and allow me to channel the truth as it is revealed for our highest good and the highest good of all. Remove any obstacles from the connection to and the awareness of the truth. Help me to surrender to truth and allow it to flow through me unhindered. I now request access to the Akashic Records of the collective. Help me to know the collective in the light of the Akashic Records, to see the collective through the eyes of the Lords of the Records, and enable me to share the wisdom and compassion that the masters, teachers, and loved ones of the collective have for it. The Akashic Records are now open. Namaste. Okay, so first up, Inner Earth. Okay. Well, I want to talk about Inner Earth on my Patreon. I wasn't really planning to talk about it right now. So we'll put a pin in that. We're going to talk about the GFL, the Galactic Federation of Light. Okay, so this is, you can visualize it sort of like a spaceship. They do have like a meeting place where all the different representatives of all the different planets come to discuss. It's almost like the United Nations on the planet, on Earth. The Galactic Federation is almost like a replica, or I guess the United Nations would be a replica, but of that idea. So all of the peace-loving beings of love and light, beings who are on the side of the light, I guess you could say, meet and talk about how they can protect the planets. Essentially, they are an extension of this light versus dark war that is going on in the multiverses. So just because we exist, we have light and we have dark, and there is always going to be energy moving back and forth between the two, because we wouldn't have light without the darkness. So these beings in the Galactic Federation, they are we can connect to them through the astral realm, which is through the portal of our hearts, the fourth energy layer that we have. We can start to connect to them through this realm. They are majority non-physical beings. And when they meet, it's actually non-physically. So they are all meeting via astral projection, which is why humans aren't typically invited to these meetings. We don't really have one representator of Earth. There are certain humans who have raised their vibration, that raised their consciousness up to be able to astral project to get to this location where all of these light beings of the light meet. So yes, there are humans who will connect and contact and converse with the members of the GFL. But for the most part, humans aren't necessarily included in that. Humans have really big emotions. We are really intense. And some of these beings, these light beings, are more fragile, I guess you could say. And so being around the vibration of a human can actually be like damaging for them, can actually be too much for them and like hurt them and their nervous systems. But anyways, these different beings from all these different star systems and planets, and anybody that really is kind of like on the side of the light, like the side that is working towards unconditional love, the side that is working towards unity, that, you know, wants everybody to rise up together. This would be the beings of the light. The beings of the dark are the opposite. They are the power hungry. They're only looking out for themselves. They want like the money. They want the fame. They want total destruction. They want to they want to destroy these other planets. They want to take them over. They are like power hungry and only looking out for themselves. Those are kind of the two main things that we could say are on the side of the dark. Now, if we minimize this bigger representation of light and dark, you know, we all have light and dark inside of us. We have our light and then we have the shadow, and this would kind of be similar to what you would see out in the galaxies of the light and the shadow. So these dark beings, known as reptilians, draconians, you know, there's like kind of like insecty type alien beings. There's beings from other planets. So these draconian beings, they're actually not from our galaxy. They actually are from a different galaxy, but they came through like a portal, like a wormhole, they came through a portal and they ended up in our galaxy. They were kicked out, expelled from their own galaxy, so they ended up here, and they have been trying to overtake planets, and they have done a good job. I mean, they overtook Lyra. There was wars on Orion. Now that they're here in this galaxy, they are trying to take over the Orion portal. So the Orion portal is this like black hole, this portal that can it's a very powerful portal. It can, we can move through galaxies through it. It can transmute energy. It's like exactly what you would imagine a portal to be. If you go through it, you know, you're going to be cleansed, you're going to be healed. It does take you to other galaxies, to other planets. It is like an energy center, a power source. That's so interesting. It's a power source. So it supplies energy and power throughout our solar system as well. It's just like a very coveted, sacred place. And it's interesting, the parallels to Earth, where, you know, some of these humans on Earth are trying to vie for power and resources and all of this kind of stuff. The same thing is happening with this portal. So these darker beings are trying to essentially get enough power to own, to run, to command, to commandeer this portal, where the light beings are doing the opposite. They want to be in control and in power of this portal. So it's this balancing game that happens between the light and the dark, and Earth herself is ascending. She is moving in higher vibration, but she is, as I've maybe mentioned before, she's a little bit behind. She was meant to be a little bit more ascended than she already is. And so it's been out of balance with these other planets and these other parts of our galaxy, Earth has been out of balance. She's been more in the dark side, and the GFL, the Galactic Federation of Light, who is, on the side of the light, moving us towards light, they are in the process of trying to raise Earth's vibration to bring her back up into coherence with the other planets so that, she's back in balance and the light and the dark are balanced, and we can continue to raise the consciousness to essentially have control or power over this Orion portal that is so powerful. It comes with so much power. So all these different beings meet, and they hold meetings every month, and they all astrally project to a secure, safe location in the higher dimension. So it's very protected, it's very secure. It sort of like appears like a spaceship, but it's like a spaceship with no bounds. So it's kind of, if you've seen like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and how he opens the briefcase and then you go down and it's like a huge labyrinth, it would be similar to this Galactic Federation spaceship. It's small, you get there, and then you can kind of create whatever you want within the spaceship. So if they need conference rooms, if they need bigger spaces, if they need private spaces, if they need whatever they need, they can kind of create it as they go, and it can kind of expand and contract, and it's a very magical space. But right now they kind of show like a bunch of beings sitting around a board table, and they're all talking, and they are meeting every month to make sure that all of the planets are where they're at, where they need to go, where they're going. So because we're on Earth, obviously our main focus is Earth, and there are representatives of the Galactic Federation that are specifically looking out for Earth and communicating with Earth, sending down, light workers and light warriors and light beings to this planet to help with the raising of the consciousness here. To help with the humans with their ascension, because being a human being on this planet means you have a physical body, which means you're a part of Earth. You're made of air, wind, fire, water. You're a part of Earth. And so if you are a part of Earth, you're very dense, and you're in kind of the frequency of planet Earth, then all these off planet beings who are maybe a little bit of a higher frequency have come here down into these earthly bodies, and as they go through life and as they go through ascension and as they go through healing, they are transmuting and clearing and alchemizing energy here, which is then in turn raising the consciousness. It is confusing and challenging because we have amnesia here on this planet, which means we don't remember who we were before we came here. And we also can't see the bigger picture. We can only see things through our lens. And so as we're going through this healing and going through this process, we don't understand the bigger picture. We don't understand why we're doing it. We don't understand why it's so hard. We don't understand how it works, all of these things. So as we heal and grow and we learn how to alchemize energy, we are actually doing a really big service for the planet Earth and for these members of the Galactic Federation. So there are members from all walks of life here. We have Sirius beings, Pleiadians, Lyrans. We also have Anunnaki there, which I am going to be doing a video on Anunnaki at some point. They were one of the first types of alien beings who came to Earth. They were here actually harvesting gold from the planet to take back to their own planet. So before Earth had physical human life. And they can be good or bad. Like, not all Anunnaki are on the side of the light. Some of them are on the side of the dark. But the ones obviously at the GFL are on the side of the light. Reptilian beings also, they can switch to the light. Like, everyone has free will, all beings in all realms and dimensions. So even these reptilian and draconian beings, if they chose, if they wanted, they could switch to the side of the light. A lot of them, when this happens, they spontaneously combust because it's like the frequency switch is too much, so they actually like vanish. They get outcast, obviously. A lot of them get murdered or killed, or all number of terrible things happen to them if they switch to the light and they're still around these other beings, because these other beings are not connected to the love frequency for the most part. So they are not really caring about each other. I'm going to make, like I said, a whole video on reptilians and what they are here on Earth and even off Earth, and how they, what they're doing here. we can, if you imagine the battle of the light and dark and how there's light warriors here on Earth, then there's also obviously the dark beings here on Earth. And so I'm going to go into details with that in a video on my Patreon. So if you're interested in that, that's where you would find that. On the first tier you'd have to subscribe to get access to that video. They don't have a reptilian person on the GFL. But there are good reptilians out there, I will say. To communicate with the GFL, you are working through the astral realm. So once again, you do have to be careful when you're working in the astral realm. There are a lot of fake, there'd be a fake GFL. There's a fake Akashic Records. There's a lot of lower vibrational beings that are trickster beings in the astral realm that are pretending to be of a high vibration, but they're actually of a low vibration. So you do have to be very careful if, channeling and connecting and astral projecting and connecting with your guides on the other side is something you'd like to do. You have to be careful. I mean, I don't mean guides on the other side. I mean galactic family on the other side. You have to be careful because some of them are going to pretend to be of the light when they're actually not. If you ask them to show their true self, they always will. They always have to do that. But just keeping in mind that you are communicating with non-physical beings who are just like humans. So they have free will. They have the ability to connect to their egos. They have the ability to do right and wrong. They're not of this higher third heaven and higher vibration, which I often work with and which I exclusively work with my healing sessions, and even through channeling the records, they're in this higher vibration. They are not of that vibration, so it's just like having a conversation with another human, only you're having a conversation with a non-physical being. So that's just something to keep in mind as you're exploring, if you're exploring the astral realm and connecting via your heart chakra to these other realms and these other worlds, that these beings are connected to egos. It's just like other humans. So with that being said, even going to the GFL and connecting with these beings of the light, they are all still attached to their egos, these beings as well. And they have goodness in their heart, they have goodness in mind, but they are doing their work and they are doing their dharma and fulfilling their purpose just like us. They are souls in bodies, or not in bodies in this case, and they are working through their trials, their experiences, their life lessons too. So being cautious when you're connecting in with the astral realm, who you're connecting with and the type of information they're giving you, because if you don't, they could give you whatever information they wanted. So that's just something to bear in mind. But it is possible to go there to communicate with them. They have, the GFL, the Galactic Federation, has stopped and intervened with nuclear bombs, nuclear attacks, ever since the atomic bomb, which is what knocked the Earth off her projected ascension journey. Which of course everything is all purposed. So even that, there was a purpose to that happening. More light needed to be exposed here on Earth, obviously. But with that in mind, the GFL has intervened. They don't typically intervene on Earth. They try not to intervene. But if there's anything that's going to like drastically knock off the balance and knock off where we're headed and where we're going, the GFL has intervened in that. And so they, the risk of, let's say, like a World War III where they're going to explode the Earth and we're all going to die in an atomic bomb is very low, because we do have these beings from the higher realms looking out for us, watching us, protecting us, make sure we're not fucking it up too bad, because we're not that wise and conscious as humans yet. So they are looking out for us in that way. Also, whatever soul lineage we have, so whatever planet we might be from, we can connect in with those guides from those planets, and we can ask them for their help and their guidance as well. There are going to be beings from the astral, so from the second heaven and higher, but there's also more ascended beings in the third heaven and higher, who you can still connect with in these realms, like beings of these very high dimensional places, who do only have unconditional love in their hearts and aren't connected to their egos. There are even going to be those types of beings from other planets. So you do always have the option to connect in with that higher frequency of energy, if you're trying to connect with your off-planet guides. Awesome. So I feel like that is a good beginner video for the Galactic Federation and for just discussing and learning about what is happening off planet, what's happening outside of us here on Earth. So I'm going to end it there for today. If you have any questions, if this has sparked any questions for you, please let me know in the comments and I will be happy to make more videos and to explore further. But yeah, I feel like this is a good intro. So thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please let me know what you think and what other topics you'd like to discuss, and I will see you in the next one.